James, we got rain here too a couple of days ago. We got .38, just under 4/10, so much needed. I worry all the time about our trees if they're not getting enough water. But we've had 2 good soakers within the last 2 weeks. And so that's just done wonders for things around here. The yard actually started to prick up a little bit, and if you looked at it sort of at a glance, you could sort of pick up a little bit of green on it. Otherwise, it was crusty brown, crunch when you walk on it. The next thing is, I just took a look, James, on my phone, which I'm using for EchoLink, and I do not have that control you're talking about that seems to show up on your computer. I guess you told me that my audio, so I got my audio up. I do have a control for that, so I don't think that's 6 dB. So I hope that helps a little bit. Actually, the little doodad on the front here, the bar, is running out, so I may be overdriving. I don't know. You can tell me. Well, my go here, I've got a minute left before I'd have to do something. Set it back right. I have an invitation to take a tour on the ship here that's tied up in Port Angeles called the Cable Innovator. It's a British ship from London. It's stationed here. It has the entire North Pacific as its operating region, and it builds itself between Victoria and Port Angeles. When cruise ship season is up, they can't get to their dock up there, so they come down and they tie up here in Port Angeles, and then so forth, so they're back and forth. Anyway, it's about a 14,000 gross ton cable layer and cable repair ship, and we got a tour that started at 9:30 and finished with lunch at about 12:30. So we were from tippy top to the bridges and from stem to stern, and saw everything, and it is just an amazing piece of machinery. Amazing piece of machinery. Anyway, quite a lot of fun. Let's say one more time, I think I better quit. In7KC, Port Angeles. It's clear, and I'm going to send it back to Dave.
In7KC, this is 87CYM. I noticed the streaming has arrived. It's streaming now. Here in Lake City this evening, there's a Lake City parade that's going on. They had the Kiddies Parade, the Animal Walk, and the main parade going on now with bands and floats. Naturally, the seafarer pirates. And in the background, every once in a while, you hear a boom from their cannons going off. And I'm located probably about a quarter mile from the parade itself, so that sound does move along. And outside, I got 71 degrees here in Lake City. Inside the shack, it's a little bit warmer. It's 82. I'm sitting back enjoying that. Today, did some yard work. Got over to Fred Meyer's. They had some blueberries on sale, so I picked up some blueberries to bring home. And that's about it. I got some chores done around the house. So with that, I'm going to say, is there anybody else who would like to join our net? This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Hearing none, let's go back up to WW7ATS. James.
Okay, well, thank you very much. This is something I found kind of interesting. The 1.2 megahertz tonight is kind of coming in and out, coming and going, and I can only attribute that to wind, or maybe it's just the Earth cooling off and causing some kind of thermal inversion problems between myself and the site. I'm not very far away. It seems to have stabilized right now. But looking at the radar here, and go out to the coast, let me see if it's still there. Yeah, it's still there. Looks like there's all kinds of rain to the south of us. And when I zoom in here a little bit, you can see that this is as nearby as Astoria and Tillamook. There's rain out there. So that's an amazing thing about the weather this season, is that here it is, hot and dry day up here. Not that far to the southwest, it's raining. So anyway, let's see. Let's go back to the famous echo link picture. So anyway, it looks like it's a rock-stable T5 picture on my loopback right now, and I'll have to look for streaming next time around. So anyway, let's see. Other than that, nothing too exciting going on. It looks like I'm going to be getting looked at. For this exact same reason, Ron is probably down tonight. My right hip needs to get looked at, so I got an appointment at the end of the month to have someone look at that. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Maybe this is something that is transmitted on 1.2 gigahertz or something. Anyway, this is James, WW7ATS in Northeast Bellevue, and I will turn it back to Dave, Net Control. Take it away.
WU7N, James, yes, this is 87ZYM. Let's go on to Lee, M7KC.
Okay. Punch the button up here, get the timer going. Yeah, the M7KC here in Port Angeles. Well, really good. Okay. Well, Dave, you know, you would make an excellent seafarer pilot. Yeah. You'd look good in an outfit, you know, running around with a sword or something up there, accosting folks along the parade route. You should dress up and accost the pirates, you know. Yeah, okay, and I guess there must be some fancy airplanes in town, too. I suppose the race must be tomorrow, I suppose. Probably be stuff going on down at Seward Park, where the hydroplane plane races, I guess. I don't pay much attention to that, to be honest. Let's see what else went on here today. Well, we did our Burger and Brew last night. This was a wild week. And I'm so pooped right now, I'll tell you. I don't know. We went back and forth on that ship, and it had 9 decks, you know, so we were from the sort of, well, we didn't actually get in the bilges. We were just above it in the engine room, and then clear back up to the bridge, and then, oh my gosh. And I'll have to tell you that if I were there by myself, I would have to lay breadcrumbs or something to find my way out of that maze. And it was quite something. They offered us lunch, too. It was quite nice. It was a lot of fun. So it was a group from the yacht club. One of the guys who graduated from Port Angeles High School here is going to a maritime academy back in Maine, a 4-year program to come out of well, you know, what would they be? First, second mate, first mate, stuff like that, you know. Eventually, maybe up to captain, but you have to take a long time before you get there. Anyway, this was a lot of fun today. I mean, that thing's just about 500 feet long. And the destroyers I was on weighed 2,100 tons, 2,100 tons. This weighed 14,000 tons gross. And so it's just a big ship. But pretty nice. Staterooms are nice and all that sort of thing, and the accommodations are excellent. That's the end of my timer. Think about it quick, Dave. In 7KC, Lee in Port Angeles, back today.
In 7KC, when I come back to you, I'm just curious what kind of cable they lay down. Is it fiber optics or other? So anyway, you can come back when we get there. This afternoon, though, unfortunately, a tragedy in El Paso, Texas. Some young guy, about 21 years old, decided to take out a long gun and started shooting people. Unfortunately, the death toll is 20, and we've got about 16 injured in the hospital right now. So that is sort of that bit of the news that was happening. And the hydroplanes, yes, Blue Angels are up performing this afternoon, and they'll be back tomorrow. And it's on Lake Washington, and Stansfield Pit is sort of in the middle of the South Lake between the bridge and the Boeing complex to the south on Lake Washington. So that's what was happening there. So I'll set it up to WU7ATS, James.
Okay, Dave. This is James, WU7N. And, well, sorry to hear you mentioned there was some kind of tragedy in El Paso with a lot of the loss of life. Sorry to hear about that. Certainly put that in my prayers tonight. I haven't heard anything about that yet, but I find I don't have cable television, which is probably the reason my blood pressure is so low. My doctor was commenting I went in for a check of something unrelated, and he was saying, wow, I have low blood pressure and a low pulse. I attribute that mostly to not having cable television in my house. But anyway, it's kind of surprised there's just three of us here tonight. Last time we had a new voice on, and I showed him that box. So if he's listening now, hope he'll type in and say hello, maybe just in and out or something. But this is a box that I use to turn my computer into an NTSC signal and send it out on a DC electronics transmitter I checked out. So anyway, other than that, the other interesting thing that I've learned recently, and where this came from is actually was Lee's comment last time about how all the ships have to have automatic identification. That led me to something called ADS-B, which is, I think, the equivalent in aviation. ADS-B is something that the airplane figures out where it's at by using the satellites, and then it transmits its exact location so everyone knows where everyone else is at. But I got off onto, kind of, as you always do on the ever-helpful internet, to something called multilateration. I don't know if either one of you guys know about this, but it's a way of using times of arrival of signals at different receiver points to figure out where the transmitter is. And as it says in this article, it's not to be confused with true range multilateration, nor is it the same thing as direction finding, nor is it the same thing as triangulation. And I'm not quite sure the difference between triangulation and range finding as defined in this article, because to me they're kind of the same thing. So anyway, if you guys know anything about that, I'm sure interested in hearing your thoughts on that. This is James, WU7N. With that remark, I'll turn it back to net control.
WU7N, this is KD7ZYM. Let's move over to N7KC. Lee.
Okay, and I got the timer going, N7KC Lee in Port Angeles. Well, James, that's the first time I've heard the term multilateration, and that's intriguing. I'm going to look at that and go look that up. And Dave, yes, it's a fiber optic. It's all fiber now. It turns out that when we're in relatively shallow water, where fishing boats might be landing their gear on the bottom, and that sort of thing, they try to trench that stuff in. It's an armored cable that they use when they're near shore in relatively shallow water. And they have a trenching tool that they can pull along. It's a plow, they call it, and it can put the cable down about 3 or 4 feet, something like that. So they try to get it buried a little bit. But when they get out in the deep water, like they can work in waters that are 5 kilometers deep. That's generally the deepest part of the ocean is around 5 kilometers. and they grapple for it. They get information from the people, the cable owners who have got apparently TDR equipment, time domain reflectometry equipment, where they can ascertain where the cable is damaged. They measure the transit times or the echo, the ping time, or some such anyway, from each side, and they can compute just about exactly where it is. And then once they get in the area, they have the ability to put a tone on the cable, and then the ROV, they have a tethered ROV that they can put over the side, and it can go around and it can determine the exact location of the break. They said in the deep ocean, most of the breaks occur due to seismic activity, earthquakes or sunsets, the ocean bottom shifts and that sort of thing, and damages the cable. Whereas in shallow water, most of the damage is done by fishing ships, fishing vessels and whatnot, and so forth and so forth. Well, I'm just about out of time. Multilateration. Okay. Back to you, Dave, in 7KC, Port Engine.
Why, it sounds like the technology for laying cable has really come along a long, long way. And I'm sure they can carry a lot of conversation and data on the cables that are now being laid. Anyway, again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, 87ZYM. And, again, it's still beautiful weather outside here in Lake City. The cannon volleys seem to have gone down from the parade route, and maybe the pirates have made it through the parade at this point. Who knows? But it's much quieter. Generally, I can hear a band or two playing in the background. The sound does travel pretty good in the evenings here. And as again, I'm only a quarter mile away from the parade route. Let's see. That's about all I've got to say, and I'm going to move it back to James, WW7ATS.
Okay, well, thank you, Dave. Well, with three of us, it sure goes around fast. Maybe we should pause for a second and see if anybody else wants to join us here. Why don't I do that for just a sec here? If I can ever get to that part. Okay, let me try that. Does anybody else want to join the Western Washington Amateur Television Society? If so, let's see out now.
Yeah, 7QO.
M7QO, why don't you go ahead and say hi, and let me get my signal off the air and you can transmit.
Well, I'm not set up to transmit yet. I'm just getting home. None of my cables are connected, including my 2-meter antenna, but I've got it connected now, so I can't see anything. I just heard someone talking about time domain reflectometry, apparently. Yeah, when I worked in avionics, we would use that to find if there's a cable on an aircraft that's not working. You could find out where it is that there might be a cut, a break, something in the line somewhere along the fuselage or out in the wing. And lots of cool stuff out there. Don't know why you were talking about that, but that's what I caught. And I'm going to need another 5 or 10 minutes here to set things up. Not sure who's running the net, but you turn it over to me, Jim. So back to you, WU7N and 7QO.
Okay, I'll just pick it up where I left off there and give you time to hook some cables up maybe and say hi. Well, I always think it's kind of interesting here. Let me see if I can get my stream going and see where we're at with the stream right now. Oh, picture in a picture. Well, this always is amazing to me. I guess It's it's an old trick, and it never gets old. Anyway, go back to looking at the rain down in Tillamook. Well, anyway, let's see. I kind of lost my train of thought there. Yeah, the multilateration. I remember back in the 80s, the group I was with was experimenting with it, and the atomic clock that we used. Oops, I disconnected. The atomic clock that we were using fit in the trunk of a car, and it took three of them to do anything with. And the atomic clocks were very expensive and somewhat sensitive at the time, so they didn't get very much use. Everything else fell back to good old RDF, which was 3 stations with phased antennas trying to figure out where signals were coming from. Well, anyway, with that, let me turn it back to Dave. This is
WW7N, this is KD7ZYM. Let's go to Lee, N7KC.
Okay, I'm here. I got my timer, I punched the button, so we're underway in 7KC in Port Angeles. Well, hi to Jim, Covington Jim, from 7QA. Good to hear you, Jim. Let's see. Oh, Dave, I was going to tell you that the fiber optic cables that they lay have got typically 32 fibers. And they're really tiny. There are lots of examples of the various cables that they lay and that they repair and how they do it. And interestingly, about every 80 miles they have a repeater. And it's a bidirectional repeater, so the signals can go both directions on the fiber. And so there's a bump in the cable, and they put down this bit of electronics that is... they call it a repeater, and what it does is just boosts the light signals up, for the next 80 miles. And of course, that's active electronics, so there's a power pair, at least one pair in the cable that supplies, I'm assuming that it's DC power somehow or other to the cable. And having worked on a 5-kilometer amberglass cable with some underseas equipment, it's quite a trick to power up something that drives any current when you're 5 kilometers away from it on a cable. Some very interesting LC effects happen when you try to turn the switches on and do things. Anyway, so I'm down to 45 seconds here. I don't know whether Jim's got his stuff hooked up yet or not. Dave, you have a great picture on the stream tonight, and Jim, you do too, or James. Mostly I can read what you're putting up there. I can't read that right now, which is, must have something to do with that link down there, because I can see a dancing bar, assuming response to some audio. But anyway, I can't read that, but I can read the other big thing, so it's pretty nice. Okay, that's it from here, from 7KC, Lee in Port Angeles. Back to Dave.
Hi, N7KC, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. And let's see, this morning I was listening to PBS Radio. We had a program on, and they were talking about computers and computer chips. They were going back to the year 2000, where there was some automobile accidents that were happening that they couldn't account for, where automobiles would speed up and drivers would lose control, and the computers on the automobiles were causing problems. And one of the theories was atomic particle neutrons were bombarding the chips and causing errors to occur. So that was kind of interesting. And then they also had another thing where they were going on where they were using a binary system to count votes. And every once in a while a neutrino would come down and get into their chips and throw the count off by 100. So that was kind of interesting. This was in the European elections where they were using computers. So a lot of it, I don't know, it hasn't been all confirmed what happened, but anyway, that was kind of an interesting theory. And this is Dave, 87CYM, beautiful Lake City. Again, it's starting to be a little bit on the twilight zone now, and the sun's going down. Every evening, I think we lose about 2.5 minutes of light to what's happening this time of the year. So with that, let's go up to James, W7N, and that'll be followed by Jim, K7QO.
Okay, this is James, WU7N. Well, that's an interesting theory. Just to confirm, maybe next time around, they were saying neutrinos, as in like from outer space, were just randomly getting into the chip and causing problems. That's an interesting theory. I know 20 years ago I was involved in a project, and there were known or I guess you would call them firmware problems. In other words, it was actually on the substrate of the chip. They knew there were problems. And so they were, what we were doing is compensating for some of those problems with the software that we actually loaded up. But they were just in, office environments. I don't ever recall anything being, attributed to neutrinos. That's interesting. As far as computers counting votes, wow, don't get me started. I have a very cynical point of view on how long the integrity of that software would last. I think there are some systems in Europe, and it's completely open source code, and they go through a ritual of compiling the code and making the load object for each, box or whatever right before the election to try and keep it as clean as possible. I think anything that's closed, I don't understand how that would work, but I don't know, try to keep an open mind about those things. So anyway, this is WU7N with the uniform 7 November, and I guess right now what everyone's seeing on the stream is KD7VYM. So let me turn it back to you, Dave. This is WU7N.
WU7N, let's see if N720 Jim is available.
N7QO. Well, I am transmitting. I don't. Oh, there I am. Okay. Huh. Well, I don't see myself on the 1.2, but I see myself on the stream. I got to work on that 1.2 now. Oh well. Well, I'm at a loss for the earlier part of the conversation. My apologies, I got home a little bit later than I was expecting. But, let's see. In the news, well, we won't talk about the news. Nice day here, probably everywhere. I'm showing 75 at the house right now. It did get a little bit breezy during the middle of the day, and that prevented some people from doing things around the airport, but otherwise absolutely beautiful. I had to water the flowers today. They look a little bit parched. Probably tomorrow will be even worse. But I'm happy anytime it's not snowing. Not sure of the gist of the conversation, and not sure of anything else I should start up. So, good evening. Let's see, I heard Dave, Jim, and Lee. Hi to all of you. And back to you, Dave, KD7ZYM, and 7QO.
N7QO is 87CYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. I'm Ray Repeater. Let's go to Lee, N7KC.
Okay. There we go, 7KC in Los Angeles. Well, good evening to you, Jim. If he's not that bad on the stream, I can tell who it is. No issue there. So, good on you. I just don't think you wouldn't have to increase your signal very much to put a lot of color into that, I'm betting. At any rate. That's good. Jim, yes, we were talking about time domain reflectometry in relation to undersea fiber optic cables. I had the opportunity this morning to tour a ship called the Cable Innovator. It's registered in London. It belongs to Global Marine, and its area of operations is the entire North Pacific. Global Marine has 5 of these cables. And most of them are cable repair ships. This particular one is a cable layer and repair. So it's quite a lot larger than the other ships that do nothing but repair work. And so I had a dandy tour of that, and they gave us lunch before we left. So it started at 9:30, and we didn't get off that ship until almost 2 o'clock. It was quite something. And it's tied up here in Port Angeles. A lot of the time, because when the cruise ship season comes, they can't get to their berth in Victoria where they normally stay. And they don't like to anchor out because they have to run their generators to make ship power, and then they use a lot of fuel to do that. I mean, these people use tons of fuel a day. It's very expensive to run that ship. So they prefer to come over and tie up in Port Angeles where they can get shore power. And that sort of thing. And they really like it here. These guys, in fact, the captain and one of his right-hand guys are going to cycle up to Hurricane Ridge, I think, today. So pretty ambitious. Anyway, typically, when they're laying cable, it takes about 80 people on the ship to do that, and when they're out just repairing cable, it takes about 48 people. And so that's kind of what the complement is like. Well, I'm out of time. Today, Jim, they were looking for fiber optic cable folks because they can send signals down from both ends. And I'm assuming it's TDR. They didn't say so specifically, but the guy who gave the tour, I don't think would have known that. But I would suspect that it's something to do with TDR, and then they put a tone on it to actually nail it when they get there as an ROV. Okay, this is M7KC. I'm Leon in Port Angeles, and back to Dave.
Out.
Yeah, WW7ATS. And kind of interesting, all of the stuff that was going around with that show that was on PBS radio this morning. They were talking about, during the show, they created a cloud chamber that it took almost an hour till the conditions in the cloud chamber they made to finally show neutrons coming through and making little tails that were about the size of half the size of a human hair. They were getting rates of about one a second. So that was kind of interesting to do that. It would have been nice to be able to do that. But anyway, particles from outer space are bombarding us all the time. Anyway, that's about all I've got with that. So I'm going to move back up to James, WW7ATS.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Well, I remember as a kid, I got a little, sort of like a miniature cloud chamber. It was kind of like a little miniature cardboard tube with a radiation source in the bottom. And what you're supposed to do is go into a dark room, let your eyes adjust for 20 minutes, and then hold this thing up to your eye, and the radiation source was emitting alleged alpha radiation that in this little thing you hold up your eye would make little streaks on it. I never actually got to work. My dad, it came out of some 1950s chemistry set. My father, who was in charge of the regional hospital up at Shepherd Air Force Base, took it to the radiology department, and it never made its way back home again. so I could assume that it was probably a little hotter than we wanted it to be. But never tried a cloud chamber to catch particles from space. Question I have here for Lee.
Connected WU7N. Connected N7KC.
WW7ATS. I think we lost echo link there a little for a bit.
Oops. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Dave, do you copy?
Loud and clear.
It's always fun to have a chat with yourself. I always say it's good to talk with someone intelligent. So how much did you get of that with our last transmission?
100% copy.
Okay, well then with that, let me turn it back to you, and let me put an ID up here. And back to you, Dave, WU7N.
WU7N. Let's go to N7QO, Jim.
Thank you, Dave. N7QO. Well, thank you for the pictures of that very fine maritime vessel. That looks pretty impressive. If that thing's out there laying cables, I'll bet a whole bunch of folks are working. I never imagined that the staffing would be that great on that thing, but that's pretty impressive. I wonder if they're laying cables on an ongoing basis or just mainly maintaining what's out there. Not sure what's going on. And yeah, Lee, I don't know about the fiber optics or what. I assume that everything out there is fiber optics now, but not even sure. There might be a satellite link. All of our terrestrial stuff used to have microwave links here and there scattered all over the place, and it used to work highly efficient, but things are changing in the industry, so and the internet has made a big difference as well. But for any speed, I would imagine that they would want fiber optic stuff. I don't know if the next generation is out there yet or not. Of course, when I was doing the engineering work, it was not, but certainly things have improved since then. Well, there was something on television today, Lee, about something going on in Port Angeles, and they said, what did they say? Something about, was it hurricane? Just curious when it's your turn if that means anything to you. They did not give any explanation on the television. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, put it over to Lee, N7KZ.
Okay, Lee, N7KC in Port Angeles. I've got my timer on. Okay. And I got to kill the other audio thing going on here. Okay, yeah, Jim. Okay, now James, I think they've misunderstood. Your question was how much of what you originally said came true, and he said 100%. He was talking about your response. As far as what came through initially, the question to me, almost zero came through before the echo link did a loop-de-loop, and you had to reset things. So, yes, I see the stream now, and that's certainly the cable elevator. That's a whopper. Oh, my goodness sakes. Actually, the lights are set, too. They're alongside. You can't see them there. No, yeah, you can see them, but it's hard to point out. They're actually orange. But anyway, they've got those lifeboats which they can put 80 people in, and they have 2 of them. And it's really, really crowded when they do, but they're completely enclosed. There's these big watertight doors that come down, and these big davits swing over the side, and then they've got the cable winches that will lower them down to the water. And every 2 weeks, I think they said they test them to make sure everything's working well. And they have a lot of fire suppression equipment on there, too. And Jim, I was going to say, yes, it is it's all fiber optics that they're doing now. And as far as the question about laying cables, they don't lay very much cable now. He says they only did a job or 2 in the last 2 or 3 years. It's mostly repair work, and they said that most of it is so deep and there's so little seismic activity that they really hang around for it an awful lot of the time. Typically when they go out to repair something, it's supposed to take about 6 days or 7 days. Sometimes they stretch out to 2 weeks. But they're on 24-hour call, and so they can't wander very far from the ship. And they have to have a full complement on there to go do it. So it's kind of interesting. But it really was quite a piece of machinery. Between the main propulsion stuff, and they got big-time bow thrusters in the front, and also stern thrusters, and then they've got 5 D6 diesel engines in there. It's diesel electric, and so they each run a generator, and then they can combine the generator outputs into the actual propulsion motor that turns the main shaft. And it's a single screw. So they drive forward with the screw, and then use the bow thrusters to hold station and so forth when they're out there. And they can stay, with GPS, they can still get over a spot in pretty heavy seas. Okay, my timer ran out. I better quit.
Timeout.
Well, you were right on that one, Lee. It timed you out as soon as you cut out. This is Dave, KD7BYM. Getting back to James's WU7M's question, Hurricane Ridge got into the news down your way. There's apparently a bicycle race and a foot race from downtown out to Hurricane Ridge this weekend. And also they mentioned an old auto show for antique autos, so I don't know where that's located there. Anyway, this is Dave, KD7BYM in Lake City, and that parade is still going on. I'm hearing the shots again from the pirates standing along with their cannons, so it's still active out there. And with that, I'm going to go back to James, WU7M.
Okay. Well, let's see, let me toss up the ID there. And by the way, I hope nobody minds, but when Lee's been talking, I've been tossing that picture up, but if someone else has something or better pictures to show, please let me know. And anyway, the question I had for Lee was in regards to cloud chambers. Dave mentioned the show he had seen where they were catching neutrinos as they came in from outer space. I'm just curious to know if you've ever done any experiments like that. I mean, you did a lot of work in physics where you were trying to catch particles from outer space, and if so, did you catch any? Other than that, let's see, the picture that I have here I got off of marinetraffic.com, and that seems to be the one picture that I can clearly see says Cable Innovator on the ship. And if you walk from stem to stern on that thing, you certainly got your exercise. If they ever have another tour, I'd love to go on it. I drive out to Port Angeles for that. That looks like a very interesting ship. Just looking at all of the RF domes on the top, it's like it's got 3, looks like, could be satellite, could be radar, and several radars up there above it, up in the upper left. I count at least 2, maybe 3. So they definitely have the equipment to make sure they don't bump into anybody else. So anyway, well, this is James, WU7N. I see we're at 10 minutes to the hour. So, well, let me turn it back to net control and give up the video stream there. WU7N.
connected, WU7N connected, N7KC.
And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to N720, Jim.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, yeah, thanks, Jim, for the pictures of that vessel. That's pretty impressive. I wouldn't mind a tour of that myself. However, I won't go so far as to driving up to Port Angeles for that. I might, if things slow down in my life a little bit, but I don't know, things have been hectic. I never expected that post-retirement things would be as busy as they are. A friend of mine was telling me that after I retire, I'll never know how I had time to work, and he's absolutely correct about that. Don't know where the time goes. Well, thank you for mentioning that thing about Hurricane Ridge. Okay. Interesting that the parade is still going on. Cannons going off. I would think it's about time for them to wrap it up. It's pretty dark here at my house, and I don't have any clouds in the sky out here, so don't know how much longer they'll keep it up, but it can't be long. On the other hand, at least it's not raining out there. It's an absolutely beautiful day. They could probably hang out for a while longer. Maybe some people have some lights. If nothing else, they can light things up with their cell phones. We were talking about something a week ago. Let me see. Nope, can't find it. Oh well. Back to Dave and 7QO.
N7QO. Let's go to N7KC. Lee.
Okay, the button turned black so I could push it, and here I am. In 7QC in Port Angeles. Oops, I gotta go over that audio source, crank that up. I've turned the audio off on the stream because I'm hearing myself on Oakland. It's really confusing to have that temporal difference. Jim, I bet you would be, after you did the tour, you drove to Port Angeles to do the tour, I think you'd probably say it was worth it. One thing, in fact, they're showing some cross-sections of it now, and those three great big tanks that are in the middle there is where they coil the fiber optic cable when they're in the laying business. And they can put, maybe 200,000 kilometers or something of cable on that thing. And the so-called cable engines that they use to pull it is about, I would say it's around 100 feet long, and it's rubber-tired things that will grab it, rubber tires on top and bottom, and guides on the side. And then just ahead of that, toward the stern, is a great big drum. Now I'm guessing it's probably, it's got to be 20 feet in diameter. And so the cable, they have this big A-frame on the wheel. In fact, you can see it there. That A-frame goes way out over the back. And they bring the cable up through a shiv on that. And then it takes one turn around this big drum, which is vertical. It's a vertical drum. That is to say, it looks like a rolling pin, but the rolling pin is horizontal. So the cable is not lying in a horizontal, but rather a vertical plane, if you can imagine that. That's one turn around this thing. And then it goes into the cable engine, and then it goes up these cable trays, and then they can it's amazing, just amazing, you know. And then when they want to work on it, they cut the cable apart, and then they put stoppers on it, and then they take a loop and they drop it over to one side of the ship where the cable repair facility is, and they can actually weld those fiber optic connectors together, and then they put a splice box around it, and so forth, and then they deploy back into the ocean. And it's fascinating. Okay, my time is up. And also, I know it's really close to bewitching time, so I'll just say 7 C's right now. And I enjoyed this night as always. This has been 7 C's in Port Angeles. Thank you, Dave.
Well, thanks for the tour around that, Lee. This is 87CYM, Dave here. Really interesting. Sounds like it was a fantastic opportunity to go aboard that ship and see what all it had to do. My curiosity was when they put the amplifiers down, how often do they have to, or where do they get the power from? I guess that would be an onboard battery or something. I'm sure it's probably really low consumption of power. And how often do they have to replace the batteries in those amplifiers? Would be my other question. But 73 this already, so anyway, next net we'll get to that. Again, this is Dave, 87CYM. And as far as the parade actually got started at 7 o'clock, so I think it goes about an hour and a half, so probably another half hour parade going on in Lake City. So let's go up to WW7M. James.
Okay, Dave. Well, thanks very much for running the net tonight. This is WW7N in Northeast Bellevue. I really enjoyed the net. I appreciate Tim, Lee, and Dave for joining us tonight. And just for the plug into the net here, it's 8 p.m. on Saturday on this repeater 147.080, and also on 8 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesdays. We have a YouTube streaming real time that sometimes works. Just go to your favorite search engine, look up Western Washington Amateur Television Society, find our site, and then click on streaming, and kind of look something like that. So anyway, this is James, WW7N. Certainly appreciate everyone's participation tonight. 73s, everybody. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks for joining our net this evening, James. Let's go to Jim, N720.
Okay, thanks a lot. Well, I don't have anything else. Probably everyone else is off doing something like I was. But who knows? Might even have some people out there watching the parade. Maybe another person or two will show up on Wednesday. I certainly hope to do so. So thank you all for participating, and I'll plan to catch you Wednesday. Good night all, N7QO.
N7QO, for a video report, you get about a P3 plus coming across on the internet. That same image I'm seeing on 1.2 coming in here at Lake City. And is there anything from anyone before we decide to terminate the net? Hearing none, we'd like to thank the owners and operators of the 480 machine, CTAC Repeater Group, for allowing the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net to operate between 8 and 9 o'clock on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So with that, I'll be signing off at the evening. Dave, 87CYM, 1758. Good evening all.
N7KC disconnected. WU7N disconnected.